It's bigger. It's bigger. Oh, it's bigger. So much bigger. It's bigger. It's bigger.
Okay.
All right, let's get started.
Thank you very,
Yes.
very much. I'm really excited to have you here on the Healer Hip Hop Show. Welcome, Wise.
Thank you so much, Anna. I'm so happy to have this conversation with you.
Yeah, me too. Please, let me ask you to introduce yourself to people who don't know you or your music yet, in your own words.
Introduction. Those are always hard, but I go by Wise. I'm a queer, let's just say FLINTA artist from Vienna, based in Vienna. I guess I just started out, officially putting out music in 2021, and it's gone until 2022. I've had a lot of amazing shows happening, and the growth is there. And yeah, I'm just out here doing my thing. Like, if y'all don't know me, check out my Instagram and you'll definitely see more about me. I suck at intros, but I think that was a cute intro.
It was very cute. It's just when I make the intro, then you might not define yourself like that right now, or you might feel like there's something missing, or it's hard to introduce someone as well. That's the same. It's hard, but we will get to know you in the next minutes.
Yes, period.
So that was just a short introduction.
Very brief.
Very brief. There are a lot of things to talk about. You seem to have a massive output in amazing videos and music.
Right.
Take us back to like your introduction to music. Was it always hip hop that you felt, or was it other music? Or is there even a moment where you're like, oh wow, I really, really love music and I need it in my life, or was it always there?
I grew up with music, I'd say. In general, I really enjoyed singing. My mom always played music because she was in a church choir. So I grew up listening to a lot of church music. And I also do find myself now having a lot of gospel-y elements, especially in the newer things that I'm going to release next year. Because of that, and my voice has definitely been influenced by that. But I've been a fan of all kinds of music. I think it's just beautiful. I love singing. I love the vibe. I would say hip hop I've gotten into more in my latest stages of growing up. You know what I mean? Like I always sung, like I sing always, and I just started trying to rap and figuring that out not so long ago, and I stumbled on something and I was like, okay, I really fuck with it. I know I wanted to practice it and figure it out. And I'm still doing that, I think making music, whether it be rap or, writing songs, it doesn't matter as long as you feel what you're doing. And it makes sense to you. And, as an artist, you're allowed to grow with your flow and figure out your voice. And that's just a part of the process.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
One more question, like as a kind of introduction, why are we speaking English? You live in Vienna right now?
Yes.
Speak English.
Well, du hast angefangen.
Sorry.
No, okay. I prefer English right now because I'm sick. So when I'm sick, I'm not trying to, German takes a lot of effort sometimes to figure out what I'm trying to say. But usually I speak Denglish. Like I'm a big fan of speaking Denglish because that's just how I communicate. And we're probably going to speak Denglish throughout this as well, kind of. But I speak English because I'm not a native Austrian. I'm from Zimbabwe, and English is my mother tongue. So it's easier, I guess. And it's an international language. We trying to be international on the Healer Hip Hop Chow, period.
Absolutely. The Dinglish, for people who are not from Germany or Austria or any German-speaking country, it's German English. And
yes.
I speak it because my son is half Sierra Leonean, and we used to speak Dinglish as a family language. really odd. Like when you go outside and speak to people who don't do the Dinglish,
And they're
then
like, what is going on?
I used like in English presentations at university, I used German words because I was so used to it.
Yeah.
So that's really yeah. Let's see how we.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, for me, it's it gets confusing because the tenses are different, the grammar is different. So sometimes I find myself, even though I'm a native English speaker, I find myself speaking English like an Austrian, which is hilarious. Because I'm like, child, what am I doing? It's as if like everything just disappeared. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Aber so ist es.
So is this okay. About Zimbabwe, like how long did you grow up there? Because I just told you that I'm kind of co-hosting the Hila Hip Hop show with a radio host from Zimbabwe. So like my heart is there as well. Like I also interviewed some Zimbabwe,
Amazing.
and I know a little bit about the struggles of an hip hop artist in Zimbabwe because it's not been as easy as maybe it's in.
No, not at all. I mean, I did not make music like that in Zimbabwe. Let me tell you. You know, when I was in Zimbabwe, I spent most of my childhood and teenage years there because I moved to Europe when I was about 21, I think. So I wasn't even focused on music like that. I did sing. Um, that's where I started, figuring out my voice, playing. I did one gig in Botswana with my brother, which was the worst shit I ever did in my life, chow. That gig was such a flop. And actually, the person who hosted this thing at a restaurant was from Germany. Shout out to her. Her name is Barbara. Shout out to Barbara. She told me I couldn't sing, but now look at where I am now, bitch. Period. No, you know what happened? Like, I'm a quick story time. For some reason, they had like this, they invited us for Valentine's gig, and it was cute in the one area. And then she was like, no, come sing in the restaurant. And I'm like, cha, how am I supposed to sing in a restaurant full of talking people with no microphone? Nothing. I had no experience. So while I'm singing, basically no one was even paying attention. That's why it was a flop. And in the end, I looked at myself and I'm like, what the hell am I doing? And I stopped. I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing this. Sorry, y'all, do your thing. I left. I was like, I'm not doing that. That's not cute. Anyway, back to where we were going. I just wanted to share my dramatic story time when Barbara told me I couldn't sing because she fucked up.
She did.
She did. Barbara, that was on you. Anyway, so I did start, I did start singing with my brother, and we had like 2 small gigs in the city I was in at the time, Bulawayo. But, I feel like at the end of the day, I wasn't really connected to the music scene in Zimbabwe because I wasn't making music like that. And also a lot of the gigs being offered, I knew at the time, were more exposure gigs. So, which is something that's like, it's cute to have exposure for a while, but you cannot live off exposure gigs. You know what I mean? And there's so many struggles in general. There were, I haven't been there since like almost 8 years. So I don't know, how it is right now. I still know it's still a third world country. It's still a lot more difficult than being in a first world country. So I don't think that it's necessarily prioritized, even though, Africa, Southern Africa in general, has such a huge market for music and good music that is also now reaching out into the international market, which I think is so amazing. And I'm so proud of that that is happening, that I see quality coming from my country, and I see like it makes me really happy. But yes, it wasn't easy, and I don't know how easy it would be to go back and try to make a career in music, living with music. Although I do, there are some superstars in Zimbabwe. Shout out to them. Shout out to Tammy Moyo. She's amazing, really an amazing, amazing queen who is thriving. But as I said, it depends. I don't know what the scene is like there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nabot, the co-host, he told me he brought rap battles on national TV because that was hard, because you could not use cuss words or anything. Like you had to be super clean.
Oh wow. Yeah, I mean, isn't that TV in general? TV is like I'm just, what's so funny? Like even YouTube, I just released a song.
Yeah.
Y'all, I just released a single called Bless. It's a rap song. If you're a fan of rap, child, go check it out and leave some love, because YouTube is screening everything and will not let me promote this video because I use the word bitch. What the actual fuck? Like, I mean, come on, like, for reals. It's so strict everywhere. So lesson learned, we're gonna do things without any cuss words, child, because we're trying to make that money, child.
Yeah. I love this, by the way, I have it on my replay list. Like, I have a list that I keep replaying, and it's on it.
Thank you so much.
The flow. Yeah, that was good timing.
Period.
That came out. Yeah. So as you said, like, you first start in the music business, singing wasn't like
right.
that. So what made you stick to it? What made you be like, yeah, I still want to do this. I need to do this. I need to put my heart out there. I need to present my art.
I never really ever took my voice for anything. So even though I was like, singing here and there and figuring things out, when I moved here, it wasn't priority. I wasn't like, oh, I'm trying to be a singer. I always like had the feeling like, yes, I have this like cute talent that I'm still trying to figure out. And I always dreamed of like going on like talent shows and stuff, because that's what we were exposed to, was like all these The Voice things and everything, and idols. And that was such a dream. But, I know how this business works now. And like, child, none of that is even real. Like some of these stories are so fake. Everything for TV is for TV. We know how it is, period. But I moved here, and I went to culinary school here because I was really into culinary arts, and I went to a private culinary school here to learn that. And I graduated there. But in the midst of doing that, I was still singing. And it's so funny because we didn't really have a Schulchor, but because like everyone heard me singing, we ended up formulating one. So I ended up singing at every Christmas thing or whenever school started. I never did the school starting thing because I wasn't feeling it. But at every Christmas thing, I did that. And then everyone was just like, yo, you should do something with this voice, because what the fuck? And I'm like, child, I'm cooking. I love this. I love what I'm doing. And they're like, nah, for some reason, we do not see you doing this. And everyone's like, we just see you making music. I don't know why. But I really didn't think of it like that, And then I did one time, I auditioned for DSDS. So much tea on that because, the audition, I don't know who the scouters were, seemed more interested in my complexion. And when I went there, I had blue contact lenses on because I was a fan of contact lenses back in the day. I'm not now. And they thought, very exotic, es wäre wirklich schön für unsere Show, the Sendung sieht dann cute aus, blah, blah, blah. And they, were like, yeah, okay, come back tomorrow and let's do another audition with a different song and whatnot. And I didn't go back because, I just didn't feel the need to. And at the same time, I know TV is TV, but I'm not trying to be on any show just because of the color of my skin. You know what I mean? And it's kind of whack, and it's kind of like weird even talking about that and thinking about like that was actually a thing, and this was back in, I don't know if this was like 2017, 2016, 2017, I think. I'm not sure. I don't know. It was somewhere around there. But it was weird. So I didn't do that. Then I was like, hey, well, fuck that. And I went back to doing my thing. And then my aunt actually registered me at a local talent show in Vienna. And it's like, they did these really random talent shows all over, like in supermarkets and whatnot. But, at the end of the day, I find a lot of these shows super cringe, and I think it's an easy way to make quick money or whatever. And it's just, I don't know. Luckily for me, though, I won the show. But that wasn't the point. The point was there was an A&R that was at the show that discovered me and was like, okay, I don't know what it is, but there's something about you and we're going to figure it out. And I was like, cool.
What's an A&R? I don't know.
An A&R, I don't know what an A&R stands for. Let me.
I just stumbled across
look it up real quick.
I was wondering what it was. Is it
What
something
does A&R? It's like, you know, like
out? No.
A&Rs are people that are in charge of like, you know, artists and whatnot at labels.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know what it stands for, but basically it's that.
Okay.
You know, they're in charge of, oh, what happened? Oh, I'm there.
You
Anyway, so the Sony A&R Austria, I was always there. All right, cool. Found me and then, you know, gave me his card. But then eventually I didn't hear from him for like a year or so. And then finally he was like, look, let's try to figure this out. Let's put you in the studio and see if you can actually write and see if you can actually work with people. So I did that. And mind you, I had never written a song in my life. So I was thrown in the deep end of music like, ciao, you're gonna go in and write songs. So it's so funny because listening to my first songs are hilarious because of how simplistic the lyrics are. They're just so basic, but it's fun, you know. I can still see I could still see the potential in those songs. It was so funny. Anyway, we did that. For some reason, it kind of sort of worked out. And he was like, look, I don't know, es gibt irgendwas da. Und wir haben irgendwie Bock, machen wir was. So I ended up signing with Sony. And then, you know, got into the flow of like meeting producers, writing songs. And that's when I wrote my first rap song, which was actually Bless.
Really?
With yeah, so crazy. I did Bless, and then I think I did Big Facts on my EP, and Big Facts was written later, but came out before Bless. But you know, we wrote Bless. No, actually, Bless wasn't my first. It was my second. My first was a trap song called, I forgot what it was called, but it's a totally different vibe. Probably wouldn't release it. But, I don't know. But still, you know, it was still the beginning of that. And
start, I would say.
Right, not a bad start at all. You know, but in a way, I still felt very, and in a way, still today, I feel a little inexperienced when it comes to writing rap songs, and sometimes I feel a little intimidated.
Do you have,
you know,
imposter syndrome?
Do I have what?
Do you have imposter syndrome?
What's that?
That's something I came across that many people have. Actually, many artists have that they think they're not good enough, like they're just pretending.
Oh hell yes. Ciao.
Like
Diagnose
I really
me right
sing.
now.
I really can't sing. I really can't write or rap. I don't know why this happened to be good and why you like it. You know, that's imposter. Like,
I mean, I know I can look. So the thing is, I know I can sing now because I'm like, I've been doing it and I have an ear for you know, for that. And I always like, when I'm also like discovering artists and music that I like, especially local ones, you know, I'm always trying to see how they touch me, especially at a live show. You know, I'm always like super like interested in artists that are really good at performing and like have that performance. Like for me, it's not just about the voice, you know, it's really about how you connect to the crowd. But I have that with rap. I think that imposter syndrome, that because I just feel intimidated because, you know, it's not like singing, you know, it's also a whole like a subculture of music in a way. And how it's derived, you know, it's different. But you know, right now I feel like it's super integrated into pop music as well. So that's why it's, you know, so common to just do it. But I would like my relationship with rap to be deeper than that, you know. I enjoy the mix of conscious rap and, you know, all the booty talking bullshit, whatever. It's cute, but I'm still trying to find that balance where I fit in rap, you know? And as I said, I'm not trying to put like myself on the spot and be like, I need to be like this or like that. I'm just, you know, learning to mix how I make music, you know, just mixed in a way that it makes sense. So yeah, I'm at that point where I'm coming to that. So I'm not putting that pressure on myself to be like anyone else because I don't want to be like anyone else. Even though, you know, it's right now with the way that the music industry works and whatnot, you know, I think it's easier for people to follow a trend just to chart or to make money from that, you know, from streams and whatnot. But and it had me fucked up for a while because, you know, when you make stuff that's different, it's not always the case that everyone's gonna fuck with it just because it's different. And it's also different when you also have an image, especially a very visible queer image, and you make, even though you make hip hop music that may not even be queer, but just hip hop at its core, or rap at its core, it's still not going to get appreciated as much as it would be from a straight artist, a straight masculine artist, or a super straight femme artist, because I feel like hip hop or rap in general, and that's why I didn't have such a close relationship with it when I was growing up, was always very hyper masculine in a way, and that's what it was. It's a strong, you know what I mean? And it's like, the attitude like of that is still around. And, I'm happy that we have, an uprising of queer artists like Saucy Santana or Lil Nas X, who are coming and making music that, is music, and it just works, you know what I mean? And it's listenable to everyone. Like, everyone can listen to it. You don't have to be queer to listen to that music, you know what I mean? That's where I'm at. I'm like, okay, you don't have to be queer to listen to my music, it doesn't matter. But it's still difficult having this image attached to that. But I don't want to change my image just to please a group of people who just, don't want to understand that. So it's a challenge.
Yep. I see. My first thing was to say, not in my book. Like, to me, it's not like that, but I can see, I see where you're coming from. You feel like as a queer person, you're expected to do a certain genre of music or a certain type of, and the same thing goes for you as a rap artist, as opposed to be something this, so I see, yeah, you have to get those two together.
Right.
Like this group and that group.
And put it together. And, yes, a lot of it is also on me and how I think, and my insecurities. Also me sometimes making myself inferior to the fact, because I shouldn't do that. I should be like, at the end of the day, I'm still that bitch, and I shouldn't feel intimidated by anyone. You know what I mean? So it's a mixture. Yeah. It's just a mixture. And I think at the end of the day, child, it doesn't matter. As long as you got the confidence, that shit sells. And when you perform that song and people are going wild for that song, then you've done something. You know what I mean? It's different when you make a rap song and everyone is just looking at you like, okay. But when you can deliver what the fuck you said and everyone's like, okay, period.
Yeah, you embody that. Like, I have this, when you said this thing about rap that's different for you, or what makes you be more anxious in a way, I had this line in my head by rap artist Megaloh. I don't know if you know him. It's a German rapper. And he said, he rhymed, Rap is, that's called the song Rap is die einzige Mucke, wo man das, was man sagt, auch verkörpern muss. Let me say that in English. Rap is the only music where what you're saying, you really have to embody it. Like, that's where you are like,
and you really do, because then that's when it makes sense, and that's when you feel it. You know what I mean? And that's something that I, in general, that's what I was saying. It's I'm a natural born singer, and everything I write when it comes to singing, trust me, 100%, I feel it. Rap is so new to me, and because of that intimidation that I had, I was afraid to feel the lyrics that I wrote. But that's a part of the process. In general, you grow as a songwriter. I think what's most important is that you are able to write your own stories. And I think, especially when it comes to rap, being your own writer makes it as well. Because, yes, you can perform other people's songs, but what makes it super special and the best to connect with is when you've written your own rhymes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you just gotta feel it. Yeah,
absolutely. So I said before, like, you seem to have a massive output, and that was before I knew that you will publish a new album even, or more music. So where do you take that from? Like, that's really rare, like, or it's not something that everybody has, that they can drop music everywhere every day. I mean, we had a lockdown, everybody had a lockdown, and you were doing music videos in 21, 22, so much music. Where did you take that from?
Yo, when I tell you, that was the most craziest. You know, I lost so much of 2022 because of that. 2021, I was so limited because of Corona. At 2020, 2021, I was so limited because of Corona, and I had to postpone so much. So I was left sitting, you know, and I don't like to be someone that just sits around. So in my head, I was, you know, already making myself ready for the time that, you know, I have. I'm going to work my ass off and put shit out. I don't care, you know, and I was lucky enough to figure out ways, you know, obviously having a label behind me, the financial aspects were amazing because I didn't have to think about that. But I was constantly about like, okay, it's about content, it's about visuals, it's about this, it's about that. I don't want, you know, I'm gonna come onto this scene. I don't have to be huge, but you're gonna know who I am. And to be honest, I feel like a lot of this just happened so naturally, which is so crazy. You know, I've written so many songs, we had so many songs, and we're like, we're just gonna release all of this. We did that. 2022 came, and I was like, ciao, we're doing video after visualizer, after something. And it was like video shoot. I did like back-to-back video shoots. It was ridiculous. You know, I had one video shoot, the next day I had another video shoot, then the next day I had this shoot, then I had a show, then you know, it's a part of the process, I guess, but it was ridiculous. But, you know, I was so motivated because I didn't have that. You know, I was stuck for so long. And I was like, I'm just, you know, I love it. I love doing that too. I love performing. And, you know, I didn't even know I was a performer like that until I actually watched what I did. And I was like, oh my God. You know, today I was watching a couple of music videos I did, and I was like, damn, I went in there literally, you know, managed to organize stuff with the people I was working with, but I never once prepared myself, you know, at home or anything to perform in this. And we just did it. I just fucking switched. I don't know what it is, but there's a switch that I have that when I'm on stage or when I have to be wise, I really switch, and I am that person because, you know, and it works for me. I don't know what it is, child. It's like, where it's my own Sasha Fierce, as Beyonce
Yeah,
calls
I
it.
had
But
Sasha Fierce in my head.
yeah, I'm like, Sasha Fierce just came out. That demon, maybe it's the Illuminati child. We don't know. Maybe it's because I signed with Sony. We don't know.
Yeah.
But like, it's so weird. Like I was born to perform and to say shit. You know what I mean? Because for some reason, when I do say stuff, people literally listen. Like when I sing, be it a ballad or be it a rap song, people stop. And that's something that's so rare, you know, and that's a quality that, you know, I was talking about earlier, that I look for in artists that make me connected and hooked to them. If you can like stop me and be like, ooh, you don't need to sound like Whitney Houston. You don't need to have to rap like Nicki Minaj. You know what I'm saying? You just need to be you, and it just needs to make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that's why, you know, I feel, and back, because you were talking about like, you know, back then, what the drive was, why I just keep doing it. And honestly, it just feels like it's something that I was made to do. I don't know why or what, but I'm just so connected to music like that and to performing that I don't know. It's just so special. Like I couldn't see myself doing anything other than that, even though I found myself needing to find a part-time job, child, because, you know, in summer, everything's lit. In winter, there is nothing going on. And now I'm sitting here like, how am I going to find a part-time job with these nails? First of all, what am I supposed to do with these motherfucking nails? I don't even know. So anyone that's listening, if y'all got some creative direction shit going on, like you need, hit me up, because I can't, like, I'm not about to go cooking. You know, I've studied culinary arts, but you're not gonna find me in the kitchen with these nails, period.
No. Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, people who don't know this, I really, it was really a shame that I could not invite you to the FLINTA Hip Hop Festival, because you really should have been there. I had you there on the panel, but I really, really, like, in hindsight, would have loved you there as an artist, you know.
Yeah.
But the reason was, it's not so easy finding, at that time, it wasn't that easy for us to find hip hop artists, that we were looking for hip hop artists, FLINTA hip hop artists from Austria. Like, there must not be a big scene or something, because it was really hard for us to find. We looked in Switzerland and Austria. And yeah, we just found you too late. And that's why, yeah, I already had all the spots taken. But I really wish I could just yeah, have another festival next month, so that you could have, or not need to do a part.
Period.
Let me just put that right in here. I will launch a Kickstarter campaign for the next festival to happen, because this is exactly for all those artists in wintertime that don't have many gigs. And on the other,
Right.
us hip hop lovers, we're sitting at home, we're listening to music, we're watching videos, but we don't get to experience life, like something like live, a more personal experience with the artists.
Right.
Why we really want to launch a new festival. And yeah, I will add more information later on. I just wanted to put that out here, because this is exactly the reason why we're doing this, so that you don't have
Right.
any job with those names. It's a shame.
Period. We're not trying to do anything else but music, you know.
Yeah.
And I think it's not as easy, you know. I feel like in general, I get why it was and would be super hard to find, especially FLINTA hip hop artists in Austria, because it's not put out there the way it's supposed to, you know, the way I would like to see it. I feel like, you know, the mainstream is still pretty conservative. And you really have to dig. But if ever, hit me up and I will hook you up with a couple of people. I'm working with a FLINTA collective as well. And I really hope to do more shows with them. I'd love to do a cute little tour with them. I think that would be a vibe as well. But yeah, there are definitely a few people. I'm gonna shout out my bestie Bex. I don't know if you've seen her all of my stories, but she's all over my stories. Amazing, must have rapper. Must have. Her flow is crazy, her attitude is crazy, and she's gorgeous. Period. Defos. But I will always be down to do something with you. So if there is something, feel free to hit me up. Ich bin dabei. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so that you can have those nails. So, talking about the hip hop scene, you touched on that in Vienna, especially in Vienna and Austria. Like, is it there? Like, tell me about it. I don't know.
I mean, yes, it is. Actually, it really actually is. That's that's what I'm saying. I feel like it's just underexposed. The people that live here know about it. The people that live here know about which artists are around. The media needs to do something about this, because it's pretty lächerlich, das müsst ihr auf Deutsch sagen, that we're not as exposed as we should be. You know what I mean? Even if it's German, even if it's English, you know, English is way harder than to have that exposure than German, because German is super, super hard right now. But there's people like Scorphy, there's people like Donna Savage, there's people like, you know, Kerosene, obviously, there's people like Bex, there's people like Taylor, there's people like Desert Goblin, there's people like me, there's, you know, there is a handful of people who are FLINTA, you know, that are doing stuff in that community. And when you in Vienna, child, you see it, period. Like, we know about each other, and we're out here trying to, like, you know, there are a handful of us that are trying to support each other and be like, yo, we need more platforms. We need to be booked more. We're trying to rise and strive together. I have Scorphy also, who's an amazing artist, sings amazingly, raps amazingly, and also does DJ sets for me as well when we're performing, because, you know, I think it's super important to show that as well, and to be like, yo, we're here. You know, everyone's face is out there. We're trying to, like, fucking strive. We're not fucking around. you know, we will be loud, we will take up the space because we deserve it as well, period. And that's, yeah, and that's the attitude we all gotta have, you know. It's always easy to be, and I've been in that motion of like, es gibt keinen Platz für uns da, but there is, and we gotta take it. It's hard because, you know, it's not given to us like that. But sobald es wirklich da ist, müssen wir drauf fucking steigen, like, period. But yeah, I can only wish, you know, 2023 is gonna bring more to, you know, an equality of FLINTA and non-FLINTA artists, especially at festivals like Frequency, for example. I still see such a lack of local BIPOC, especially BIPOC artists, BIPOC FLINTA artists. There is no space there. It's not even safe there. You know what I mean? Like, the security is not enough. Like, there's so much buffoonery that goes down that it's like, yo, ich würde auch gerne mal hingehen, auch als Audience Member, aber ich habe sowas von Angst, dass irgendwas zu mir passiert wird, just because of how people are just so asozial. You know what I mean?
That's a real thing why I wanted an online festival. I mean, it's winter, that's one thing. Then we can have more international people and more international viewers, but that's really a point. Like, for me, it's health reasons. Like, I have a big, like, I have a kidney transplant in my belly, so I'm vulnerable, you know.
Right.
Mosh pits like that, and I really, and I need clean toilets and things. So it's really an issue for me, like the security. Like, I would love festivals, but then add to that, I'm a woman. I don't feel safe going there alone. Absolutely.
Ciao, for reals.
That shouldn't be. This is horrible.
It's terrible because, you know, there are so many music lovers out there who you know, are just, who feel very geschlossen from these events, and who, you know, would love to be a part of these events, would love to be included in this. And it's just so sad because it's like, the amount of talent out here is ridiculous. Und es ist wirklich so scary, wie schnell es geht, dass Menschen ihr Dreams wirklich, you know, die hören auf, weil es einfach unmöglich ist. Und das einzige, you know, the only thing that's keeping this shit alive is, you know, the very few people telling you, please don't stop, we need this. You know, I'm also at a point where I'm like, I had these like thoughts of like giving up on something just because, you know, I'm not easy to just jump into the market, even though there is a market. It's just like, you cannot market me like you would a straight white artist. You know what I mean? There needs to be a different strategy, a different plan for how you integrate these artists into, you know, the scene. And I don't think it takes an arm and a leg to think of that. I think the more we integrate different personalities and different identities within the scene, it's not only going to help the music, it's not only going to help the creativity, it's not only going to put, you know, Vienna on the map, it's going to do so much just for society and integrating communities that have never been integrated before. It's going to normalize these identities in public spaces that they can walk and feel free and feel appreciated without feeling afraid that, hey, this is not okay, because, you know, right now it's not normalized. Right now it's still odd to be highly fashionable. Just being fashionable is schwul. You know what I mean? Was ich wirklich so ekelhaft finde. Because sobald ich in Berlin bin zum Beispiel, ist es so wurscht. Weil es einfach so viele Menschen, die fashionable sind und die gehen einfach, wie es so, denen so egal ist. But here, I feel like one of the very few that do this and still get so much shit for it. And I'm just like, y'all, if y'all would just step out of y'all's fucking boring ass, basic ass fucking attitudes, you could embrace your mind so much more.
Yeah.
You know, so it's really a thing to do with both, you know, societies, communities, you know, the cities in general need to think, die müssen wirklich so nachdenken.
Yep.
Und mitdenken einfach, mitmachen. Don't pretend like people like me don't exist.
Yeah.
You know, this is really, it's a thing.
Yeah. It's
crazy.
yeah, it's about representation, and then
Yeah,
just looking at you enjoying yourself with was heißt Mode auf English?
fashion.
You enjoying
Mode.
yourself with different styles, and I enjoy this so much. Like sometimes I scroll and I'm like really ugh. And then I see this and I'm like, oh my God, this is so beautiful in so many ways. It opens my mind. I'm like,
Right.
wow, I've never seen it like this. This is
Right. When do you see a body that's, and I'm not talking about myself, but in general, you see a body that's so feminine, but also somewhat masculine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's so like mind-bogglingly beautiful that you're like, oh shit. That's amazing.
Yeah. And I asked myself, why wasn't this a thing before? It's so beautiful. Like
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I feel like it has been, and we're just in a stage where there's just so much trash and frustration right now that it's just easy to take it all out on, I feel like every community is fighting each other. No one's trying to integrate their bubbles, child. I'm trying to integrate my bubble also with, trying to understand this community and trying to teach them who I am. You know what I mean? Because I think that's so important also. And I know a lot of people are like, it's not our job to teach anyone shit. But at the end of the day, man kann auch nicht erwarten, dass die Menschen dich dann verstehen werden. You know what I mean? If you're not about I can't expect people who have no clue or clueless about certain things to be like, oh, I get you and I get why you do what you do. No, it's a process that we need to come together and be like, hey, this is me. I respect you for you. I only expect respect back. You don't need to like me. You don't need to agree with me, but you need to consider that I exist in the same fucking society as you do. And you need to, man muss mit dieser Information klarkommen. You know what I mean? You don't need to be a fan of what I do or any queer person, but we coexist together. And we just need to find that respect for each other. That's something that's missing. But there's so much going on that it's so easy to throw shit at each other. And really, it's really easy to, because everyone is frustrated, and I get that. But what does it bring? You know what I mean? What does it bring? What does it bring, wenn man so die queer Community ausschließt? Nichts. Wenn ich von queer Community rede ich nicht von cis Menschen. You know what I mean? I mean visibly queer people. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that attitude. I can understand why people, especially about like racism, say that it's not our job to educate other people like on our free time and things. That's true.
There are certain things, you know what I mean? There are definitely exceptions.
Absolutely. So at the same time, I learned a lot from especially hip hop artists telling their story. I learned a lot about racism, about how their whole world, about people's world that I don't know. I've never lived under such circumstances, right? So I love that, and I love that you show us a part of your life, and your joy in fashion, for example.
Yes, and self-expression. I joy in self-expression.
I love that.
Yeah, period.
Now I got so lost in our talk. There was one more thing I wanted to ask you.
I'm so sorry. It really went off. It really, once you get me talking, child, it goes like.
Don't be. No. It's not about that. It's I love that. It was important. But I got lost. Okay, so let me continue by. Okay, so you just told us about your music you did in 21, 22, and you also mentioned you have music coming up.
I have music coming up in 23. but it's going to be a little different because as of 23, I'm going to be an independent artist. So that's a very empowering, uplifting, amazing journey, but very scary because I don't have the financial
Backup.
backup like I had being signed to a major, but I also realized, what like it doesn't matter, you know what I mean? Like you technically, I don't know. I feel like as an artist, if you have a good manager, child, a booking agent, you good. Like you pretty much good. You don't need a major behind you. There's so many Förderungen here, which is so great. That you can figure that out. It's just important to figure out a team in the beginning and how to how to do that. So it's scary. So I'm at this point where I'm like, okay, I got to do this all myself. I have been writing a lot. My first project is going to be way more soulful, way more sung, because I feel like I haven't gone into that as much yet. And I would really like to show my voice and my vulnerability behind my voice and share those stories and that pain. I'm gonna do a couple of ballads. And then it's gonna go wild from there. Like, I'm not gonna say too much. It's gonna
I'm
be
really excited. I love your singing voice. Your voice is very diverse. Like you can cover different voices that sometimes I'm like, is it really her still rapping, singing?
It's a lot and it's very androgynous. Sometimes it's super femme, sometimes it's mask.
I love that.
It's like we don't know. Yeah, so I'm super excited about that, and fingers crossed I get to figure that out as soon as possible so that I don't, have to wait too long, because I still want to keep my momentum of releasing and putting stuff out there. And if by any chance any of y'all know of a booking agent, child, because it's so hard to get nowadays because of Corona, send them my way. 2023, I need to find a manager and I need to find a booking agent, because right now I've been doing everything alone, and it's been difficult. I've just had my label, but everything else has just been me, and it, eventually doing the business side of things does take it has such a toll on the creative side of things. And I'm tired of the business shit. I want to be an artist. So managers, booking agents who are watching this, hit me up. I'm here.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure we can have amazing. Okay, I can't wait. Honestly, I love your singing voice, so I can't wait. And I especially love more ballady and more personal stuff. I'm really into that. I love when artists open up.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Okay. So thank you so much for now. I'm pretty sure we will meet again.
Definitely.
So thank you very, very much for taking this time to and get so personal with us, be here and share everything with you, with us, your journey. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for having me, Emma. It was beautiful. Thank you for letting me offload a lot. And looking forward to hearing from you. Definitely.
Yeah. Thank you. Beautiful conversation. Wise.
You're so welcome, Anna. Thank you for having me on the Healer Hip Hop Child. We need more of this, child, period.
Thank you.
Take care.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
It's bigger. Oh, it's bigger. It's bigger. Oh, it's bigger. This is the healer.
Jetzt.
Amazing. Okay. Then, oh my God, I'm also on here.
Ja, das musst du noch ausmachen.
Okay, muss ich noch was machen? Oh my God, my hair looks terrible. Wow.
I have bad hair month, so.
Okay, should I come out of my laptop and just do it here?
Genau, ja, super.
Okay, passt. Dann soll ich dafür lassen, oder?
Nee, das muss raus da. Warte mal, ich schmeiß dich mal raus.
Ja, jetzt höre ich dich ganz, ganz fein.
Yeah, now take your time so that you feel good. With the hair and all. Good.
Yeah, I mean, fuck it. I'm sick. What am I supposed to do about it? You know, it is what it is.
Ah, beautiful room. Like, it looks very
Thank
cozy.
you. It's super cozy. Yeah.
So, yay. I'm very, very happy that we finally get to speak like one-on-one and get to meet like that.
Right. We didn't have the chance to do that last time properly.
Oh no, no chance. I had no time. Like, leading up to the festival, I had absolutely no more time for that. So
Right.
here you are.
And is there a festival this year as well? Is this part of the festival?
I will start a Kickstarter campaign, because last time I paid for everything myself and I cannot do that anymore. I paid for it in advance, and then
Wow, das ist viel.
das war zu viel.
Ja,
It was
voll.
like, my son just asked me, would I do it again? I would, even knowing that I couldn't get the money back, but I cannot do it again. You know, it's too much for me. And yeah, let me just steadily like try, see if the Kickstarter campaign works. If not this year, we'll have one either this winter or next winter, but I plan to do them in winter, because that's when typically artists don't have much work, right?
True. It's actually pretty cool. Is it just an online thing, or is it like an actual, it's an online thing? Okay. Can you get funding?
Exactly, that's what I want. But the problem was, I looked for funding options. You need to, in order to get funded, you need to have done a festival with 1,000 Zuschauer already.
Ah, scheiße. Okay.
Once you do that, then you get funded. I need the funding to get the 1,000 people, you know, but I didn't get 1,000 people. So I have to somehow get there, and then I can apply for.
Yeah. Oh, that sucks. That's a bit shitty. But are you doing this all by yourself, or do you have like a team to help you out?
I did everything by myself. I was a bit naive. Like, I just had the idea and I wanted this. Yeah. I just went for it. And I had a little team, but that was like, they just helped me out frequently here and there. For example, like finding artists. And the other girl set up the whole festival online platform. But now that I have the knowledge, and with especially like until I have enough funds, I will do everything by myself. Yes.
Yeah. Right. I get it. Yeah, I feel you. You know, at the end of the day, that's just how it is sometimes, you know. Yeah. Even I find myself in the same situations where I'm like, well, I just can't afford this right now. So, and you know, not a lot of people are trying to be kind about it as well. I know, it's just like, you know, but I get it, you know, there's situations where it's like, okay, I get that. But then there's situations where I'm like, okay, it's also for a really good cause. You know what I mean?
I know. So I know, and I trust there will be a time when it will work. I see, you know, it's just, I have to keep looking for ways. And I just found someone, like, you know, I haven't been present on Instagram a lot because I needed a break after this whole thing. It was too much. And then he's from Zimbabwe. I will ask you about Zimbabwe. He's from Zimbabwe. Nice. Yeah, and he wrote me that he really loved what the Healer hip hop means and what I want to do with it. And now he kind of woke me up again. And now I started the show again, or the podcast. We will eventually, like, sometimes co-host some sessions just to talk about hip hop in general. So together we want to make this more international. You know, that was maybe, you know, to just have it in this special, very special hip hop scene, like Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, you know, so we want to expand it. Yeah, that's for sure. When an online festival makes even more sense, you know, to have it like literally on different continents, you know. So the vision is there, and I know people like him will come to me, you know, it will work. We will find ways. And then, you know, what else happened? You know, this war started end of February, and I almost sold no more tickets after that. I sold most tickets before that. That didn't help. So, and then all the sponsoring stopped. Like, we did not get it
because of the war. Yeah.
What I'm doing now, do my work, do the interviews, get more, like spread the word more, then do a Kickstarter campaign. And if it doesn't happen this winter, it will happen next winter. And also, like, if I need to make money somehow, you know, because I'm doing all this, my online things, I'm doing them. So when I earn money here, I'll put it into that, you know, so I'm cross-funding things.
Yeah.
But I'm not yet at a level where I can fund a festival and my life. Yeah. So
I get that. That's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. Oof.
so we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.